Hello there, lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today I'm hopefully going to help you to stop sucking quite so much at Rocket League, also known as a beginner's guide. Now, before we get into it, I do have to say that these tips do not come from me directly, because I am completely crap at the game, as you'll no doubt see from the footage. No, these come from a very good friend of mine who is a very experienced Rocket League player, so thanks for this, Rachel. But anyway, enough waffling, let's dive right into things. If your teammates are ahead of you and they're trying to get their proverbial hands on the ball, don't bother rushing in with them. There is absolutely no sense in all three of you going after the ball all at once. Seriously, just hang back and wait for the opportunity to arise where you can jump in and do your thing. During kickoff, if you're not closest to the ball, hang back. If you're not the closest to the ball, you're simply just not going to get there before the other team can, so there's no point in you charging in and trying to beat your teammate to it. You're just going to be wasting time. Instead, if you're quite far back, you might as well just reverse a bit and start defending, or maybe just drive up a little bit further and be ready to maybe hit the ball back if your teammate doesn't get there before the enemy does. If you're trying to get somewhere quickly, boosting can be very expensive, so try somersaulting instead. By tapping B to jump and then holding forward and tapping B again, you will do a forward somersault, which is actually really, really fast. In fact, it's arguably faster than boosting, so it's well worth doing that, and you save all your lovely boost. Admittedly, you do lose control a little bit, so if you're up close, it's generally better not to do that. Just give it a go, practice with it, and read each situation as it comes. Use the quick chat shortcuts to communicate with your team. By tapping on the D-pad, you can communicate with your team, which can be invaluable. If you're closest to the ball at the start of the game, it is well worth tapping up on the D-pad twice to say, "I've got it!" And there, you know, nobody else is going to try and rush for it because they know you're on it. Similarly, there are things to say that you're defending, things just to congratulate somebody on doing a nice shot, which is always nice to do, and it's good to give your team just a nice little boost of morale. Just don't be a tosser about it. Also, don't do it so much that it distracts you. When you're defending in goal, try toggling ball focus off by clicking the right stick in. This gives you full control over the camera, meaning the way that you are facing is the way the camera will point. And when you're defending, that can be so useful because you know exactly what way you're going to drive if you drive directly forward. If you've got your eye on the ball all the time, you might not remember which way you're facing. Sounds stupid, but it happens a lot. Personally, I like to play the entire game without ball focus on unless I really need to know where it is. But then again, I'm not very good at the game, so take that as you will. Don't forget to play through the tutorials. It sounds really obvious, but seriously, there's loads of them and they help a lot. I know it probably sounds really, really basic, but I'm sure at least one person watching this hasn't seen the tutorials or hasn't been through the tutorials, and they are so useful. They're absolutely and utterly essential if you're new to the game. They teach you everything from the basics to the advanced moves, as well as general tips and tricks for being a striker, defender, and getting stuff in the air. It's well worth it. If you find the controls uncomfortable, you can rebind any button that you bloody well like. This can be particularly useful for the power slide move, which for some reason is defaulted to Y and is far better off on L, not ZL, just L. This frees up this thumb to do all the other things like jumping and somersaulting and stuff like that, and boosting, which is quite useful when you need to power slide and boost at the same time. So I'm told. Increase the field of view for a wider view. By default, the field of view is fairly narrow for Rocket League, and really you need to be able to see as much as possible at all times, as long as it's not distracting. For me, personally, I set it to 105, I think, and that seems to work well for me. The default of 90 is a little bit pants, so definitely increase it. There's also a load of other options in there that you can fiddle about with. Fiddle with them, try them out, see what works for you. And most importantly, don't just run after the ball. I know this generally applies to a lot of things when it comes to the tips that we've already given, but it cannot be emphasized enough. Do not just chase after the ball in the vain hope that you might hit it. Look at where everyone else is. Be cold, be calm, be calculated, and take shots when they need to be taken. Don't just randomly hit it for the sake of hitting it. The principle is pretty much exactly the same as it is for a lot of ball sports, you know, particularly football or soccer as the Americans know it. If everybody was just trying to crowd around the ball all at once, it would be rubbish, and that's why people don't do it. So don't do it in Rocket League either. And there you have it. If you're a beginner, I hope these tips were useful. If you're a veteran and you've for some reason clicked on this video, obviously these things are going to be basic. It's for beginners. naff off. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you somersault and then use your boost to hit that subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.